Hello, 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 and welcome back to the Wandering Village. I'm Evie Greenbottle, and today we're going to be looking at something a little bit different. This is the experimental version of some bold changes to how the game works, and the devs want some opinions on it. So I thought we would take a look, we can form some opinions, and I'd like to hear what your thoughts are, because this does change the game quite a bit. I've taken a little look already over on my Twitch channel during a live stream, and it's just really different. And when I first looked at it, I was like, I don't know, it's too much, but now I don't know. Let's take a look. All right, one of the things about this one is that there's only going to be one game mode. We can only play on relaxed. So we're going to be playing at our own pace. Growing the village will lead to more challenges, but there's no pressure to progress. So everything is going to be much easier because normally we play on survival, of course, and we also play on the most difficult difficulty, veteran. So yeah, this one's going to be quite a bit different being on just a relaxed mode. All right, but we start off just the same, which is nice. So driven from our homes from the toxic spores, we kept wandering, looking for shelter. But not in our wildest dreams did we imagine what we would find. We found our Onbu, of course. Look at him. I just love him. This never gets old. I love this little animation every single time I see it. All right, so here we go. Important notes. Hello, friend. Let me thank you for joining us on this adventure. The game plays quite differently from what you might be used to. You'll get most out of it by not relying on strategies or knowledge from the past. If you have a moment, I'd like to tell you what the biggest change is. The goal is to offer a richer, more rewarding city building experience. It will take effort and time to free up space on Onbu's back. Plan your village accordingly, using existing clearings early on and slowly expanding deeper into the forest as you go. Make use of vertical scaling. If you don't get enough planks, build another carpenter. If you don't get enough wood, build another woodcutting camp. Scale up your economy. Research is instant, but it costs resources, so completely different from what it was before. The researcher produces different types of research notes that are used to unlock new technologies. Switch the recipe depending on what you want to unlock next. There's lots of other changes, but I'll leave those for you to discover. And of course, if you aren't already, you can consider joining the Wandering Village Discord because they want to hear your feedback. So yeah, I mean, you can pop it in my channel and I can share it for you on behalf of us, or yeah, do it yourself. It's all right as well. All right, here's our Onbu. I don't love the dirt position as a start. I like when there's lots of dirt at the front, but there's a little bit here, so we could get a mushroom farm up here. But yeah, having mushrooms at the back always annoys me a little bit, so not the greatest start. Now, of course, we are looking at tons more trees than usual, although way less than in my previous playthrough, because before it was just so thick you couldn't do anything. Now you can still harvest trees like this and get the people to go off and do that. They'll also get stoned that way. However, there is new buildings in here, woodcutting camp and mining camp. So if you build a woodcutting camp, they will cut down trees in that area 25% faster than using just these free workers. So this does work a little bit slower, but we'll get a few woodcutting camps. There's 43 trees in range here. Let's see if we can get all the way down there. 42 trees there. And the mining camp we can stick in, and they will get some of these stones. I don't want to clear up here though so we can get mushrooms growing. So stick it in here for now. Now you might also notice there are some new things over here. Clay deposits. So clay deposits is a new resource that we have to deal with, and we need rain or very humid climates in order to keep the clay deposits refreshing. And we do need clay bricks quite early on actually. Now to place things like the woodcutting camp, we actually had to use tools. Now you start off with 25 tools, and then the only way to gather more is from scavengers or bought from the trader. Now, of course, early game, that's not easy because you don't have a trader set up, you don't have a scavenger set up, so no more tools at the moment. So we need to be very careful. We can't just plop down unlimited woodcutting camps. We can only kind of do a few at a time because there are other things that are going to need tools as well. So the clay gathering camp and also the berry gathering camp actually needs those as well. Oh, there's lots of berries up here. 14 in range. You'll notice it's also not a percentage anymore. It just tells you how many berry bushes are in range. And actually this is going to be a major change that we'll come back to and look at once this building is built. But for now, we'll start to get some of the basics in. Once they've chopped a bit of wood here, they're all working very hard. We've got 8 people, which means we do need to get some tents in. Now, this is like a silly thing. We did discover this in season 5, but I had never really thought of it until you guys brought it to my attention. Workers never go home, so putting their houses central doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense. You could put it kind of way down in this corner, for example, because they're never going to go there. They're never going to go in these tents, other than the fact that they then have to walk all that way to build them. There's actually no other reason to have them central, like other than it's just farther to build. So We could stick some tents down here. We're gonna need 4 tents to start because they each house 2 people. And they'll get on that, and I guess we'll just let time tick by. Now, you might also have noticed that down here we've got tents, research building, and a hauling post. Now, the hauling post used to be your kind of workers' hut, but we don't have that anymore. We just have a spot where workers will focus on transporting goods around the village. So they're not going to be worried about building. People will just build as long as you've got builders available. So up here where we've got 8 total population, we currently have 8 general workers because there's nobody actually assigned to these buildings yet. And there we go, the woodcutters camp has been built. So now there are 2 people in there. And they will just keep cutting these trees down until there's no more trees in this area. And it will be the same for the stone cutters once that stone cutter is built. There it is. Now we're down to 4 general workers. So if you don't have anybody as a general worker, nothing will be getting built because we don't have a workers post that we have people stationed at. So you do have to keep more of an eye on how many workers are free and available. But we're starting to get some stone, starting to get some wood. Do need to get this done. We need to get the stone in there to start. So having the 4 workers around to start moving things. You may have noticed also when we were looking up here, there is berry seeds. So this is a new resource. Now you can actually, and we're about to see that as this gets built here, we are actually going to be able to plant berry bushes. So here we go, plant and harvest berry bushes. We need berry seeds in order to do that. And we get berry seeds by harvesting berry bushes. So if we click on this berry bush, for example, we can harvest and remove. And if we harvest and remove it, that's going to give us some seeds. And then over here, they'll take any seeds and plant them around the berry gathering camp. So it's actually, that is quite good. Having a berry gathering camp at the front is very strange. I never normally do something like that. But we'll try it this time, see how that goes. You also can see wild herbs now grow. So you can actually get herbs and things will wither and decompose. Oh, and they've just completely gone. But yeah, they will decompose. And then you can harvest the decomposed plants for fertilizer, which is also new. But let's get them to come over and grab those. Same with the mushrooms. These will also decompose if they're not harvested in time. So yeah, lots of different changes. Like there are tons of changes now. So, all right, we're also going to really need a clay gathering camp. Now, clay, of course, is going to be on the dirt areas. Over here, there's quite a few, but they're all kind of spread out. It does have quite a limited range. So the most we can get kind of in its range is 4, which isn't great, but it'll have to do. So we'll put a clay gathering camp down here. It's down here, we'd only get 3. There's only 2 there. And up here, we could get 4 once we get this cleared out and remove this mining camp once they get all these stones out. So we might have 2 clay gathering camps at some point. Right, Onbu is walking and he's entered the mountain biome. Of course, we're going to be fine for the beginning. There's no poison or anything on the ground or in the air. For early days here. And of course, we're playing on the relax mode, so everything will be significantly less dangerous. Right, we're down to just 2 general workers because we've got 2 berry gatherers now. One of the things we're going to need to look next to is doing our research. Now, the research tree, well, it looks the same. It also looks very different. Things are still kind of in the same spots you've always expected them to be, but now to unlock things, you need to get construction notes, or you need to get medical notes, agricultural notes, and Onbu notes. So different things that we need to be studying and researching with. So with the research building, it costs 10 bricks. We'll have to get our brick production up. But then after that, we can use the notes gathered from there and resources that we have to do things. So let's get a brick furnace coming in over here. Clay collectors over here. Now, they haven't put new art in for some of these buildings. I suppose they're not going to commission any sort of art being made until the changes are kind of more confirmed. So right now it just looks like that. But right, put the brick furnace. I feel like it needs to go sort of near. We'll put it right here on the edge, a bit closer into a center of town. But they're starting to get clay, although I'm going to have to take a few less people in each of these because, of course, we need to have actual builders. So we'll keep 2 people in the berry gatherers camp, but I'm going to go down to 1 miner, 1 woodcutter, and 1 clay collector for now. So we need to get these things built. So they're bringing resources over already. And the brick furnace is going in, and we'll have 1 person producing bricks. Because we do need to get up to 10 bricks to build the research building. We're also going to need, the basic things. We need to get an air well and a farm in at some point. Like, water is still a resource that we need. Currently, we're not doing any farming, so we're not going to be building anything. Oh, here comes some rain. So when there's rain, we get puddles that form. And as these dry out, they will turn into clay deposits. So it will also refresh any. So this one currently has 2 there, but it should refill. So here's one it's a dried clay deposit, but it's damp. So now it's regrowing. So once they've completely harvested it, we can start to regrow it. So there we go. This one's been completely harvested. Now it's got 100% growth in the rain. So once this gets to 100%, we'll be ready to harvest it again. Right, we currently have nowhere to store anything, so everything's just sort of going on the floor. So we might want to put a pantry in. I wonder if we're going to have farms closer to the front. Put a pantry in so that these berries have a place to be stored. Materials storage would be good to have kind of near all the rest of these buildings. I'll put a material storage next to our brick furnace, I think. And then, I mean, it is raining. It would have been nice if we were collecting some water. We're going to need some farms going in as well. Let's stick this in here and then get a farm going right in the center, perhaps. Lots of things for our builders to be working on. We'll just have to make sure that as far as storage goes, they've got somewhere to put things. We've got our first 3 bricks in our inventory now, but we need 10 total. It does take a while. You can see how long it takes total to make the bricks. 14 hours and 24 minutes, which feels like quite a long time. Onbu is trekking, of course. We didn't get to choose which direction he went. We don't have a hornblower just yet. So he has decided to head more north, and we'll have to just see what is up there. Now, a big change on this map, if you click on the different icons on the map here, it will show you what you might get. Expected rewards from, for example, this mine, 10 iron ore and 2 eleflea eggs. Whereas if we click over here on the shrine, agricultural notes, 30 agricultural notes. Or over on this mine, it's stone and iron ore. On this settlement, bread is what we're expecting to get. Over on this settlement, 3 tools we could have gotten, which is pretty cool and definitely a big change. So you can kind of be more careful. But you may have also noticed, look at the time estimate. 5 days to go there. That's a lot. Like that is 5 days in this game is quite a lot of time. So all of these things now take quite a lot longer. Whereas this would have been hours before from the mine to Onbu, it's now 2 days, 18 hours. So everything takes way longer, which means I think you're going to need even more scavenger huts. We'll have to see how that goes. Because if they're going to be out for so long, you're going to end up missing quite a lot of things. Right, we've got 1 person now working in the airwell, which is good. We're starting to gather water. We're just waiting on some clay for building the farm over here. We've got up to 6 bricks now, because we're definitely going to want a research building early on. But, okay, this is a new thing as well. Our village has welcomed 2 new people. If our happiness stays high enough, people will just join the village. We don't have to necessarily find them out anymore in settlements or along the road. We still will be able to find them in settlements along the road. But if we keep our happiness high enough, then we can actually get people joining. So there is kind of a bonus to keeping your happiness significantly higher than the minimum requirement. Whereas before, there was no bonus for having it high. There was only consequences for having it too low. So yeah, right now, our population will not increase while happiness is below 5. So we need to increase it by 1 whole point. But currently, yeah, we've got homeless people. So we do need to deal with that. That should definitely help our population. We'll just stick in a couple more tents because that's going to be kind of early housing. Right, our brick furnace does not have enough clay. Everything's going a bit slowly, so bricks are not being made in a timely fashion here. We could stick an extra worker in the clay gathering camp. We do have 4 more workers still, and there's lots of things that they're trying to use this clay for. So some of the clay is going directly to the farm here. Some of it's going into the brick furnace. So we have to share that out. Now we could get some of these general workers to actually come and harvest the clay from these other ones. We don't need the clay gatherer hut, but of course having the clay gatherer hut means in this area it's done 25% faster. But it's not the only way to do it. We can just sacrifice that speed and just go collect it ourselves, which is not a terrible idea because you do need a lot of clay. All right, a few more tents have gone in, so now our population is at 5, which means we get +2 population in 2 days, 8 hours, assuming that we keep our happiness levels up. Our pantry is already completely full of food. We really need this to be getting built, our research building. We just need 1 more brick. There we go, it's in. The research building is coming in because, of course, we need to get our kitchens going, so we're making better use of our food. We need to start doing some major research. So let's take a look at this research screen together. The research building is now different. We've got different kinds of notes. They take different resources to make. So currently, we're making construction notes. So we need 5 wood and 5 stone to make 5 construction notes. We could also use planks to make construction notes. We can use slabs to make construction notes. We can use herbs to make medical notes. We can use fungal spores to make medical notes. We can use clay to make agricultural notes. And we need to kind of decide what we want to be using at the moment in order to make what kind of construction material we need. So if we take a look over here, if I wanted to make the kitchen, for example, I need 25 construction notes and 25 agricultural notes. So that is a tricky one. I mean, you need 2 things right up. And of course, they were only making 5 each time, so they need to make 5 lots of that to get the 25 each. If we wanted to make the herbalist hut, we need agricultural notes. The mycologist to feed Onbu, we need 25 agricultural notes. You need to ramp up the research notes very quickly, I think, in this one. So of course, it's not just time-based now, it is resource-based. So let's switch these guys actually to getting agricultural notes, because of course they are next to where the clay is being deposited. I think we're going to need to build another one of these, probably closer to where we're getting stone and wood. So maybe over on this side, because we're currently collecting stone over here, we'll be kind of getting wood everywhere else. Got 1 person in there. Our farmland is now ready, so we can let's just have maybe 1 farmer in there working on getting some beets planted just to have some food variety, which of course will help with happiness, because our happiness has dipped again. We're at 4/1, which means currently no population increasing. So the bar doesn't decrease or anything, it just has stopped where it last left off. We just need to get it back up and let it fill the rest of that time. Onbu is waking up. Looks like we're gonna hit another crossroads. We're also going to be hitting some hardy mushrooms, so some fresh healthy food for Onbu, which is very good because he is getting quite hungry and we currently have no way of feeding him. Not only do we have no way of feeding him, we don't even have mushrooms that we can harvest ourselves. We're not growing them. I mean, we can grab these ones that are on the ground. We have grabbed some already. Those are harvested. There's lots of things over here. Oh, decomposing. It does give you fertilizer though if you do harvest these, but it would also be good to actually just harvest some herbs and have some of those at the ready. And here's lots of mushrooms for Onbu. We only currently have 2 general workers. Right, we've made our first 5 agricultural notes. We're almost gonna have 10. We need at least 25 to start any sort of research. Now the research does happen immediately. You don't have to wait any time. Once you've given them the agricultural notes or whatever type of notes there are, it will just start straight away. You don't need 2 clay gatherers because there's only 1 currently deposit in this area. But it has rained, so now these ones should be ready to be harvested again. Some of these haven't even been harvested yet. That puddle will turn into more clay deposits, which is good. You do need lots and lots of clay, especially since we're now turning the clay into research notes. We're still going to need it for bricks. We're still going to need it for building things. Currently, we're lacking in wood over here for making the bricks. Of course, you need 8 clay and 10 wood just to make 3 bricks. Bricks are a very, very expensive resource. All right, Onbu is just about at the mushrooms over here. And we've got some more rain, which is good. That'll make some more puddles on Onbu's back, which will give us more clay deposits, which we definitely want and need. And Onbu is eating, which is also good because we have no way of feeding him. He's having some of those mushrooms. They are getting so many berries that are just now sitting on the ground here. Our pantry is completely full. I'd really love to get that kitchen, but we're so far away from that. We are going to start getting, hopefully, some construction notes just as soon as this is built. There we go. So, construction notes. So we need wood and stone to start making those. Now, the research buildings also only take 1 worker. So I think if you get carriers, the carriers in the hauling post, it might help move items into the research bin, I'd hope, because otherwise, it does take a long time for them to collect everything they need and actually get started on making these. We can keep track of them up here. So, we've welcomed 2 new people because we kept our happiness up enough. Now we need our population above 6. We're currently at 5, so we need to be a little bit happier. We need to get maybe some variety of food or some food quality coming in. You can see them up here. So we've got 30 agricultural notes now, which should be enough for a research. So let's take a look what we can get. We can't get the kitchen because we don't have the construction notes just yet. In the farming though, we could get the herbalist, which would be a fairly good idea. We can't get any of the crops yet. They cost quite a bit more. We need 50 total. Could also get the mycologist and start making Onbu food. Now for Onbu to get the Onbu kitchen, we need construction notes and we also need Onbu notes. To get Onbu notes, we need to get the Onbu observation post, and the Onbu observation post uses mushrooms to study Onbu, and that will make us our Onbu notes. So that is starred. You can see that is a recommended one to get kind of early on because yeah, we're going to need those Onbu observation notes in order to get the horn blower, to get the Onbu doctor, to get the Onbu kitchen, and to, I don't know, sacrifice villagers if that's your thing. But currently, considering we just have the agricultural notes, I might go for the, oh, it's tricky actually. Everything, you just want everything. Let's go for the herbalist. It unlocks immediately. We already have it and we can plop that in somewhere. I'm thinking of putting it down over here near that research building because of course we can use herbs to make the medical notes. We're gonna have to use these, we'll have to switch out what they're using all the time or make more research buildings. Probably more research buildings is good because it does take quite a long time. And luckily we've got 4 builders at the moment. The herbalist of course will take at least one of our people away. If we want to get another air well, the one air well seems to be okay at the moment though. And we are heading into a jungle, but there are nomads on the path, so that's quite good as well. Happy to see those guys. So we've got now 10 agricultural notes and 10 construction notes. That's good. They're kind of at the same spot now. Berries are just really piling up. I don't know if we need the 2 workers here anymore. I might take one out. Let's go back to having one regular worker because we're definitely not eating the berries as fast as we are being able to harvest them, which is actually, honestly, that's just really impressive. I don't know if the food production has gotten easier because I don't think I've ever seen like this much overproduction of berries. Once we get the kitchen though, you'll see why this is really important. Do you know what? I'll just tell you. The kitchen, you no longer have magical berry foods. You know how before, if you had put 3 berries in, you were getting 5 berry muesli? This is no longer the case. If you put 5 berries in, you get 5 food. 3 berries in, 3 food. Although I don't think you can choose between those, but it's the exact same amount. You don't get any extra anymore, which is a little sad. I love the magic food, but maybe that makes it easier to now harvest things. That's why berries are so easy to produce because you're not getting the magic food, so you need some sort of staple food. Right, Onbu is getting very sleepy. Now, of course, if he lies down here, actually he'll be completely fine. I think this must be like a relaxed version of it, that he doesn't have any poison. I've actually never played on the relaxed mode until now, so there you go. A group of nomads, we'll pick those guys up. 2 healthy people have joined our village. It's very strange for me, like, that it's not super dangerous right from the beginning. And I'm not hating it, I will admit. I'm not hating it. All right, we now have 5 workers, so we might want to we might want to increase some of the jobs we're doing around. We could put a few more people in places, scale up production. We do have 9 tools available, so you could, if you wanted, put in like a second wood cutting camp so that you've got 2 spots that are doing the wood cutting, or I could just, put another person in here so they're helping a bit faster in that spot. All right, this is a change that I hate, okay? So if you can now place things on top of where buildings already are and then they'll deconstruct it. So I almost just lost this tent because I'd placed things too close and I didn't realize it. And then someone came over to start deconstructing it. I don't think that was always the case. I don't think you could put buildings on top of old buildings before. I mean, when you upgrade houses, I guess that will be helpful because I can just like plop my hut here and they'll deconstruct those 2 tents, whereas before I'd have to deconstruct them, then place the hut. But accidentally demolishing buildings, I feel like is very, very possible because I almost just demolished some of my tents here. All right, we've got enough construction notes and agricultural notes to get some more research. So I would really like to get the kitchen. It is recommended as well. We can start making some better food quality, which means we hopefully some more villagers so we can kind of ramp everything up. It is also going to be extremely important observation post though, because we're currently not observing Onbu. But to use the Onbu observation post, we need, because we use mushrooms there to make the Onbu notes. So kind of a lot of things to get though with the kitchen. And then we'll save up our agriculture notes to get the mycologist next. And we will save up our construction notes to get the Onbu observation post next. But a kitchen so we can start either cooking our beets or berries. I think the berries, so I'm going to stick this over here. I would like to get people to remove these trees. I'm going to make that anything if there's something in the way. Whereas before you could just like place the building and they would automatically get rid of the trees that were in the way. They won't do that anymore. I think I'm also going to build another wood cutting camp and start gathering even more trees. You can't just place them in random areas where it's like, I don't want these trees here anymore. Place it there. All right, Onbu is back up and walking. He's going to be coming up to a decision soon enough. We still can't influence it though, so we're just kind of at the will of our Onbu here, which is fine. We trust our Onbu or something. I do need to start making some mushrooms, but we're very far as research goes away from being able to actually help him. All right, our kitchen's in, and now you can see, here we go. 3 berries go in, 3 berry muesli go out. It is quite sad, I would say, that change. Yeah, it does make me sad, but we have tons of berries around. We'll start to make berry muesli equal amounts. It is what it is, though. And that is true for all the foods. Beet soup is 3-3. Mushrooms is 5-3, but I think it used to be 7-5. So there you go. There's no more magic food happening on Onbu's back, unfortunately. There are definitely some very, very major changes to the game in this experimental version, which if you join the Discord for the Wandering Village, you can also get your hands on this as well and try out the experimental version for yourself. I'm going to do a short series for this with the experimental version. I think we will try to get to the Onbu monument in this. I'm also going to be doing a hostility modifier challenge, but you can't be running the 2 different versions at the same time. So we'll have to do this one first before we start the hostility modifier challenge. But I am going to be pre-recording quite a lot of things because my parents are visiting me over in England for 4 weeks this summer. I'm going to be trying to get quite ahead on the YouTube video so that when they're here, I can be spending as much time as possible with them. There'll still be a video a day, that's not going to change, but they are going to be more pre-recorded as I try to get them all ready and sorted before my parents get here. I also have to do some recording when they're here because there's no way I'm getting 4 weeks ahead, but we will try our best. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new here, please consider subscribing so you don't miss any of the fun, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.